Hello, my wonderful friends. Welcome if you're new. Welcome back if you haven't been here before. My name is Sarzana, and today we're gonna go ahead and wrap up our December reads and talk about our January hopefuls. I know I'm a little bit late. I didn't really do this video on January 1st like I had planned to. Alas, here we are. I've read quite a few books in December, and I'm pretty proud of myself because it was the holiday season and I didn't really think that I'd be able to read that many books, and I'm really proud of myself for getting those books read. So I started it pretty easy. The first book that I read in January is True Beauty. This is the third volume. If you guys watched my previous vlogs, then you would notice that I have raved about these mangas quite a bit, and I really love them. They're so much fun. It's really cute. It's about a girl that's in high school. She thinks she's ugly without makeup, so she learns how to do makeup. She comes along this male character who becomes her friend, and he's very good looking, and she's slowly starting to fall for him. Now we have a third guy. This is him right here. It's starting to become a love triangle, but the two guys, they're like friends, or they used to be friends. It's a lot of drama, and it's just fun, and it's cozy, and it's a quick read. And like, I think I showed you guys the art styles before. It's really cute. I believe that these were on Webtoon before. Right here, it tells us that this is Webtoon unscrolled. I'm having a really good time reading True Beauty, and I can't wait to get my hands on the rest of the series. They haven't come out yet, so I'm like patiently waiting as they're slowly trickling in. I gave the third volume in True Beauty a 5-star because it was just a 5-star. It was so much fun to read, and I flew through it in like a few hours, or I think in like an hour or two, and it was just perfect. The next book that I read in December was Legends and Lattes. This was the comfiest, coziest story that you can read in December. It gave me all the good feels, friendship, love, banter. There was a lot of fun banter. It was sort of like Star Wars, but make it Gilmore Girls, and I know that's like a really weird combination, but that's kind of like the vibe that it gave me, and it was a lot of fun. I love Liv. I love the friends that she made. She's come such a long way, and she made her coffee shop, Legends and Lattes, with, what's her name? Tandri. I always forget the characters' names in this book, and it's been quite a bit. I have a hard time with names, so bear with me. So Viv and Tandri, the relationship that forms between the two of them is just, it kind of threw me off because I didn't see it coming. Their relationship just grew and blossomed. Viv made so many new friends. She just kind of grew into her newer self. She used to be an assassin before, and she just kind of grew into herself, and I love to see it. She is amazing. I can't wait to read the second book when I get a chance to. And yeah, I just had such a good time here. This was such a cozy read, such a comfy read. There's no stakes. There's literally no stakes in this, and the issues that arise, they get resolved in a way that doesn't have your heart palpitating, which was really good. I kind of needed that, and it was just a warm hug. So if you guys are looking for something that gives you that kind of similar feel, I would highly recommend. I gave Legends and Lattes 4 stars because it just wasn't quite a 5-star. I go a little in depth in explaining why it wasn't quite a 5-star for me. I do have a reading vlog. My first reading vlog just didn't hit the way that I had wanted it to, because it was just like, you know, such a low stakes, but it just wasn't quite a 5 stars. However, I enjoyed my time in it, and I can't wait to read the next one. It was just a big warm hug, and I can't wait for when I'm needing that kind of feeling to dive into the second one. This was so much fun. And then the next one that I read is A Deadly Education by Naomi Novik, and I DNF'd the entire series. The first book, I got through it like I think 50-60% of it, and I know that it's a lot, and why didn't I just finish it? I just couldn't get myself to finish it. I was literally listening to the audiobook and reading it and trying to kind of get through it, but the inner monologue in this book, I just couldn't do it. Like, there was nothing that was happening, and there was like the main character, I don't even remember her name. Like, that's how much I don't care for this book. And I know there's a lot of you that love it, so just please don't get mad at me for hating it. I just couldn't do it. It just wasn't my thing. But if it is for you, then I'm so happy for you that you were able to like it and you enjoyed it. However, it just was such a miss for me. And I don't even have the book anymore because I sold them on Pango Books. I had all 3 books and I sold all 3 of them because I just disliked it so much. So yeah, I don't have it. I DNF'd it, but if you liked it, I'm really happy for you. But please don't come at me for hating it. I hate's a strong word. I just didn't like it. I couldn't get through it. I just couldn't do it. And then the next one I read on my Kindle. It's called Holiday Romance by Catherine Walsh. It was such a fun read. It was the perfect Christmas romance. I had such a good time reading it. The relationship was just adorable. It was between Molly and Andrew, and they were friends for like 10 years, and then it kind of grew into something more, so it was like friends to lovers. It was just such a good time. They were both traveling to Ireland. They would book their flights on the same day, so they kind of had someone to accompany them. The way they became friends, if you read it, you'll understand what I mean, but it's such a different way to become friends with someone. I just thought that it was really well done. It wasn't boring, and it wasn't like, I don't know, like there was no like high stakes, you know, because this is a romance. There isn't really high stakes in contemporary romances. However, it was just like a cozy Christmas read. Their families intermingling, the way Andrew's family treated Molly and how Molly's family treated Andrew. It was just really cute. I loved the inner bits that we got about how Ireland is, and I've always wanted to go to Ireland, so I just thought it was so fun to kind of read about it. I kind of almost wish that I had like the audiobook for it because I want to know if they have like the accent and everything. I think I would have enjoyed it more. I feel like I like holiday romances just for December, and after that I'm just kind of like, I'm done with it. So I'm glad I read it through my Kindle because I have a few other holiday romances and I don't like to reread them. Like, they're just kind of collecting dust on my bookshelf, so maybe I'll get rid of it, maybe I'll do an unhaul, but I don't know right now. I'm glad I read it on my Kindle and it was a good time. I did give it a 3.5 stars because it wasn't like superb and whatnot. It was okay. It was pretty good. A little bit of miscommunication almost, not really, but a little bit. And one of the characters just kind of had like a hissy fit in an understanding way, I guess. But I didn't like how the ending was done. It felt a little rushed. So I don't know, like I just had a problem with the ending also. So I just couldn't give it a 5 stars or even a 4 stars. It feels right as a 3.5 stars. It was okay. And if you guys are looking for a holiday romance book to read, then this would be a really good option. Especially if you have Kindle Unlimited, this would be a great KU read. And then the next book that I read in December is Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir, and this book was incredible. It had so much action, it had a lot of space talk, and it had a great friendship. It had great character growth as well. And I really liked how the author went in and explained a lot of the scientific jargon that I kind of had a hard time getting through. However, it wasn't like impossible to understand. So I gave this a 4 star. It was really good. I read it in 2 days. I had such a good time, but I had a really hard time also kind of going through the scientific jargon, just kind of like caring about it. I found myself skipping through a lot of it because I was just kind of like, I don't really care. But astrophage. If you read it, you know. I really liked how the main character grew from the beginning to the end of the story, and we got a little bit of the background, like as he was like remembering things, we got background information on how he was reacting before he ended up where he ended up. And I guess I can tell you guys, like, he was in a spaceship. I think it was really incredible. And we kind of watch movies and stuff about things like this, and I just thought it was so unique. And Ryland and Rocky's friendship is going to be one of my favorite friendships of all time. What Ryland did for Rocky and what Rocky did for Ryland, I just, oh my gosh. And towards the end, when we thought something had happened to Rocky, I almost cried. I almost cried. It was so good. It was so good. I am probably gonna reread this at another time, soak it in, and maybe it'll be a 5-star at that point. But this is something that I would definitely reread. The more that I'm thinking about it, I had such a good time in it. And I did give it a 4-star, but I think I might up it to like 4.5 or 5-star in my next reread. Now that I understand the jargon a little bit better, I might up it. So we'll see. But if you're looking for a great sci-fi read and you're not like a tech nerd or whatever, or you're not into STEM and stuff like that, I think you might really enjoy it. Even if you're not, if you are or you're not, you're just going to enjoy it. I recommend that you check this out and just read it. Just read it. You will definitely like some aspect of it. It is very enjoyable. It's really good. The next one that I read is Does It Hurt? Is about Sawyer and Enzo. Sawyer is running from something and she is stealing people's identities so she can live. And Enzo, he does something that has to do with sharks. I can't remember what it was. However, he's like doing something with sharks. He has his own business and he is very cutthroat. He is all about his business and he is very possessive over Sawyer, and Sawyer is a freaking survivor. She's a freaking survivor. She kind of helped me read the rest of this book. I really enjoyed learning more about Sawyer through this book. Enzo also had a lot of development through this book as well. But the only problem that I had with this book was the fact that Enzo was so possessive, and this is just like a dark romance thing, I guess, but like how he wished violence upon her towards the beginning just like really made me mad towards him. He had good reason for wishing her ill, but wishing her harm just didn't sit well with me, and I'm a feminist through and through. I just couldn't throw my feminine stick down for this one. He just pissed me off. So this got a 4-star, but the ending of it was superb. I did not see it coming. That was so crazy. I saw some of it coming, but it was just crazy. The plot was so unique, so different from what I've ever read before, and I really had a good time through and through. I also read this over like a few months time span because after a certain shark scene, I could not get past that to pick it back up and read it. But in December, I was just like, you know what? I need to finish this. I've been sitting on this for, so many months. So I'm just going to finish it. I finished it. It was good. If you're a dark romance girly, I think you might enjoy this a little bit more because I'm just a little sensitive to certain things. And you should also go into this reading the trigger warnings. There are some triggers that you might want to be careful with. There is non-consensual. It's not like on page, but it talks about it. So just be careful with that. Yeah, mental health counts. So just go into it, reading the trigger warnings and stuff like that, okay? And the last one that I read is Tastes Like Shakkar by Nisha Sharma. This was a 5-star. I love Nisha Sharma's writing. I love how she writes her character, how she writes the banter, how she writes the familial connections, the relationships. I just love all of it. And the spice in these books are like just immaculate. It's like perfect. It's not disgusting to a point where I'm like, I need to skip through it, And I don't like certain kind of spice, and this is just the kind of spice that I really loved, and I really enjoyed myself. Bunty and Bobby are one of my favorite couples. I loved seeing the first main characters from Dating Dr. Dill. That's the first book. I loved seeing Karina and Prim. I loved seeing that they were getting married and how Bunty and Bobby kind of made that happen. Bobby was like all there for her friend, and it was just so cute. I love the Daisy aspect of it. The Daisy aspect of it kind of like made it for me as well, because I just felt like a connection to it. Like it felt like coming home. I just love Nisha Sharma. I love her writing, and I had such a good time. I cannot wait for Deepak and Veera's story. I'm so excited. I might be getting my expectations a little too high. Like I may be raising my expectations a little too high for those two couples. However, I'm just like, I can't wait. It's going to be so good. This was a 5-star for me. Like it just was a 5-star. Everything about it was perfect. I didn't hate anything about it. I loved everything about it. It was just so much fun. There was a little bit of a mystery aspect to it. It was a little silly, goofy kind of time, but it was also just perfect. I loved it. I had a really great reading month in December. I loved all the books that I read. I'm sad that I had to DNF Deadly Education by Naomi Novik. However, we do what we gotta do. I'm going to get better at DNFing books, because I like force myself to read books that I'm just not enjoying, and that should not be a way of life. Like we should be able to read whatever we want to, and if we don't like it, put it down and not read it again. So I'm going to try to get better at that this year for sure. So let's talk about some of the books that I want to read in January. And I think I am being extremely hopeful, and I don't know if I should put these all on my list of books to read in January. Like I think I'm just kind of overdoing it here, but you know, Crescent City 3 is about to come out. House of Flame and Shadow is about to come out, you guys. I'm just like so excited, and I want to like prepare myself. I don't know why I didn't start in December. I really should have started in December, but now that it's like coming up, I'm just like, I should really get on it. I should really get on it. The first 2 books in Crescent City, House of Earth and Blood and House of Sky and Breath. I really want to read these 2 this month really badly, but you know, like these are freaking chunkers, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to get to these. No, screw it. I am going to get to these. I have to read these. These 2 are a must to read before Crescent City 3 comes out. I need to read these. I have to. Like it's been 2 years since I read these 2 books. So I really need to get my ass on it and just read these. Also, in preparation for it, I really need to read ACOTAR again. I haven't read ACOTAR in like 4 years, I think 3 or 4 years. It's been a hot minute since I've been back in that world, and I really need to kind of revise everything about this series because it's just been so long. So I really need to do a reread, and I have already started. I know, I've already started. So I started reading ACOTAR, and you guys can see I like made a little tiny dent in it. However, I did start reading it, and I hate it. Well, I love it, but I hate it. You know why I hate it. I don't know if I should do spoilers. No spoilers. I hate it. I hate you know who in this, and he just makes me so mad. He makes me so angry. I hate him so much. And just kind of like having to relive him, it's just a lot, and I'm having a tough time going through this, but like I think I'm just gonna like rip the band-aid and just like finish this as fast as I can and move on to A Court of Mist and Fury, because that's where the fun really begins. So I really need to get on those. And that is already 7 books, my friends. And you know what? Don't be mad at me, but I started 2 other books, so I'm in the middle of 3 books. These 2 also feel like priority to me because I just like it so much and I need to know what's going on in it. So I am like, what do I do? Like, this is such a big reading month, and I also start classes on the 8th, and I'm just like, how am I supposed to read all these books by the end of this month? I'm putting a lot on my plate, but I don't care. I'm going to try to finish it. So yesterday while I was like cleaning and stuff, I started reading The Bridge Kingdom. It's really good. The audiobook is really fantastic. I am having such a good time in it, and I like am on page 43 on chapter 7, and you guys, it's so good. I like am mad at myself for waiting this long, and It's like 340 pages. It's a really short book compared to all of the other books that I have to read. So I might sneak this in, like the audiobook in, when I'm like running errands and like cleaning and stuff like that, and like cooking and whatnot, because I don't have the audiobooks for any of the other books. So I might just do that. And another book that I started. Are you guys ready? Are you ready? My friend Mike told me to just start it. So I'm starting it, Mike, just for you because you told me to. I started reading Words of Radiance. It's so good. It's so good. But guys, look how freaking big it is. It's 1,080 pages long. It's just so big, and this is how far I am. I'm on page 51, and this is all I read so far. I think it's just because I'm like putting so much on myself, and I'm like focusing on ACOTAR and Crescent City and the Bridge Kingdom. So I'm like not reading as much of Words of Radiance, but I am a mood reader. So whenever the mood strikes for me to read Words of Radiance or Bridge Kingdom or whatever, like that's where I'm kind of like focusing my energy. So I think I'm gonna have to put Words of Radiance on hold a little bit while I finish ACOTAR and Crescent City, and then as soon as I get those done, I can pick it back up. So let's see how I do this month. I'm really excited for this month. I am so excited for House of Flame and Shadow. I took like a week off of work because your girl is only going to be reading and doing homework, sadly, but you know, we're gonna make it work. It's going to be so much fun, and I am going to do a separate vlog of me just reading ACOTAR and Crescent City and House of Flame and Shadow. So wait for that in February. I have that coming up for you guys, and you're gonna get like all my reactions, and I think I'm going to make it spoiler based. I'm not going to make it spoiler free. You're gonna get everything. Like I'm going to say everything. So when that comes up, I'll make sure to let you guys know. And it's gonna be so much fun. I'm so excited. I'm so excited for January. It's gonna be so great. So that concludes everything that I read in December and what I want to read in January. So that's kind of all I have for you guys. If you made it this far and watched the whole thing, I really appreciate you. Thank you so much for sticking around. I hope you guys had fun hearing me talk about these books. I'm really excited for January, and I hope you are too. We're going to have a great reading month. Thank you guys so much for sticking around and watching it. If you want to go ahead and let me know what you read in December or what you plan on reading in January, I'm really excited to see what you guys have to say. I want to know what you guys are reading. Are you guys rereading ACOTAR? I want to know if I'm like the only girly. I know there's a few others that are rereading it, but let me know if you're rereading ACOTAR and Crescent City. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, night, evening, whenever you're watching this. Thank you so much for watching. I love you. If you haven't liked this video, if you do like it, go ahead and like it. And if you want to, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. That way you will never miss a video from me. I love you. Thank you so much. Bye.